And I mean, Maniacal's PB is a 4909, so he's close to approaching that 48. However, on the other side, Aussie, yeah, our 46 runner, 4650 to be exact.
Yeah, so you can basically expect really, really good play from both of them.
With that, we have both runners off. Yeah, first semifinals.
Yep. But as this is Sirius Station, it's still incredibly boring.
I love Sirius Station. What are you talking about?
That explains so much.
Dude, I like this part, the 40-second part where you're just getting hit by Ridley. That part's boring, but I love watching people navigate through Steam and deboost off of it and try and stuff like that. Like that is just my favorite.
Oh yeah, no, the escape is unquestionably the most exciting part of series, and also the part that makes most people reset in frustration. But we'll see what happens.
Hell yeah!
Ooh, Osse having an 81 out of that door there.
Yeah, to get an 81 like that, you can't bonk it to the door. You have to wait for the animation to finish.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Both
see,
have
look at
trouble with
this.
Steam.
Look at this.
Yeah, Steam sale right there.
Oh, Osse going for the D-boost, not getting it.
Good attempt nonetheless. You know, it is possible to get an 87 out of that first, that Ridley room.
I've got an 85 before, I think.
Yeah,
This
same.
is the best ever.
4311 for Maniacal and 4069 for Osse. But
yeah, so some tough Steam patterns that they weren't ready for in the stairs room, particularly. Like a good stair, like exiting stairs room, like a good series is going to be like 52 plus on that section. If you want to try and get like a 46 or 45.
Yeah, series is peanuts though. It is the salty appetizer to the big savory meal that is Planet Zebes, and that's where they're heading now.
yeah, that is a gourmet course. Fried Decora egg and freshly skinned Edakun.
Seffi,
What, dude? Why you gotta kill the Edakun? What the heck, man?
Oh, I mean, yummy Totori soup. Is that okay? Can I? That's the turtle, by the way.
Yeah, so both of them doing Moonfall. Osse actually doing the Parlor Moonfall to save some frames. It only saves like a couple frames, but Maniacal almost pitless, but they're basically synced now.
Yeah, the important thing about Moonfall is, aside from the big one you saw there they both did, it saves a lot less time everywhere else, but you know what? It looks really cool everywhere else, so you do it anyway, because that's the most important thing about running this game.
Well, it adds up if you do all of them. It adds up to about an extra second or two if you can do all the weird ones. But you have to do them like instant.
Oh yeah, the Moonfall's in between.
Yeah. You do
They're
like
pretty
Moonfalls
finicky,
to
yeah.
Dragon and Moonfalls like down Red Tower and stuff like that. Like they all add up to about a second if you get all of them. Yo,
Given
the door sync on them leaving? Oh gosh, so
yeah, given this sync, I mean, even a second can make a world of difference. They're just sticking so close to each other right now.
well, I'm always like super interested in watching how people play through the early game because I'm already out of the tournament. You know, I gotta talk about myself all the time, but early game was like one of my strongest aspects. So it's always like super fun to see everyone's little different room strats in the early game and what their preference is because there's so many like tiny room variations that you can just go with. It's always fun to see what people find comfortable.
Yeah, and just Super Metroid's credit as a speed game, it's a run that allows for a variety of expression in the way you go through different rooms. So you can have like 10 runners doing 10 different things, and they're all like within a couple of seconds of each other as far as speed. So
And you can see it right now. One doing behemoth climb, one doing wall jump climb, and then they're synced again, like just like.
Yep. And you'll see that, I guess I would say maybe about a little bit after 8 minutes into the run when you see both runners diverge when they go different routes.
Yeah, it gets harder to keep track of who's ahead of who when their runners are running different routes. Osse will be going up Red Tower when they get there, and Maniacal will be going down Red Tower. And you'll see some slight variations of how they get to Green Brinstar. Osse in particular is going to be farming some pirates to maintain 99 health because they do not want to take any excess damage.
Nope. Especially not with this lad. They want to get full health so they can get those guaranteed missile drops and hopefully finish off the bomb Chorizo here in 5 shots and 7 missiles, just like Osse did right there.
Yeah, Osse unfortunately not able to like spread out the pickup of the missile grab, so had to get 2 jump backs. But both of them ended up having a similar fight. Both of them got in that aspect. They didn't get the head to fly off. So still really clean fights and really nice Alcatraz from Osse. Maniacal following suit. Well, had to do a little extra wall jump, but saved it just at the last second.
Maniacal had a little bit of a bump entering this same room that Osse's in, but was able to salvage it. Really good job. I think he just ended up delaying his 3rd shot that would hit the little blue crab guy.
And here you can see Osse shooting missiles at these pirates. They want to end up with 2 missiles and full HP, and when they get into Green Brinstar, they're going to be farming these 2 little crabs, and they'll drop 4 missiles total, and that'll give them the 5 they need to open the red door to get the early super. But this lets Osse have just a little bit of extra health because since they're doing a route divergence and they don't pick up Vario's suit until later, Vario's suit adds damage reduction, and they don't have that luxury, so they need all the health they can get.
Yeah, especially considering that their first boss is Fantoon, and Fantoon hits for 40 each hit, flame or body. So
yeah,
they want to
Fantoon,
be
no
careful.
joke.
Mm-hmm. You can still play it safe and like pseudo screw everything, but you know, granted, this is a semifinals run. I don't know how safe Osse's gonna want to play. I know that he has a fairly good cushion on safety that he could go for. But if anything else has kind of shown us about how Osse runs, he might opt to go Kraid first before Ridley. After
Oh, do a little bit of the Picard action?
Yeah, Picard.
yeah, Osse knows when to draw the line. Yeah.
The line must be drawn here.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, there you go. The up and 2 there from Osse.
Well, that's not the name, but
Yeah, listen, I don't want to get banned from speed gaming, dude.
but that I want you to. That's why I want you to say it.
Dude, don't set me up for failure, dude.
It's setting up for success with a capital success.
Capital success.
Okay, so here we are, a 8.5 minute mark, essentially. The right divergence starts. Oh, what's gonna happen?
And there it is. Osse going up, going to be doing this little hero shot here. And then they don't have high jump boots, so the wall jump is a little bit higher up on the wall. And you can see Osse playing it safe, not doing any D-boost, just going to be jumping through Heckway. Meanwhile, Maniacal's going to be making their way to Kraid. It's going to be difficult sometimes to keep your head wrapped around the differing action right now because they're both doing 2 very different things.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's Snake.
Are you kidding me, boys?
Dude, we got 4 people on the mic right now.
I
Pretty cozy.
am extremely sorry, and thank you to Antinomy, Borlax, and Crunchylex for filling the shoes of me, and I cannot believe what I'm seeing right now, gentlemen. We are seeing new route from Osse, and old route from Maniacal? What is going on?
Osse's a new route runner. This is actually expected, right?
Well, you
I
just
had
said-
no idea.
I heard them talking in the SRL chat before and saying, hey, we need to make our routes as different as possible so the commentators have the worst time of it. And here we go.
Right. Wow. Wow.
So Maniacal gonna be doing a quick kill setup here, and Osse gonna be doing a horizontal bomb jump. I don't expect a CWJ attempt. Yeah, they got a good frame to jump off of, but they were a little too far even if they wanted to go for it. So we're gonna see a horizontal bomb jump. You know, Maniacal's gonna be looking to have Kraid open their mouth and hit the super on like the second frame. That's the right frame, and there's the 4 supers.
Very nice Kraid quick kill by Maniacal. And second attempt. Oh my god, he had it! He had it!
Oh,
He
no.
didn't believe. And horizontal bomb jump is probably actually one of the hardest tricks, I would say. It is not easy by any means. Actually, I think the CWJ is easier than the horizontal bomb jump in my.
Yeah, and if you think you don't got it, it's better to try to get back on the pillars. So it's you're always kind of a bit skeptical about committing to it if you're not 100% sure you've got the distance.
Yeah, 100% Lex. Completely.
Oh
Yeah,
no!
Yeah, and this is a big time loss for Osse. Honestly, the new route does save more time than the old route. Obviously, it's the new one, it's the optimized one. But there it is. That's a CWJ right there. Very nice stuff. Like I said, CWJ way easier than the horizontal bomb jump. So CWJ stands for continuous wall jump. Basically, what happens is that Osse got that jump exactly in the right spot, so that Samus would be spin jumping and kind of land on the other side of the wall. And if you wall jump while you're doing that, you keep your horizontal momentum and are able to keep it going. Hence, a continuous wall jump.
And that's like a 2-frame window or something, right?
I think for the CWJ specifically, I mean, I don't know if we still have Sephi on the mic. He could say it for sure, but I think the CWJ is one.
So I've been told just now that you guys, Sephi, Crunchy, and Borlax, you guys have it under control. So I'm going to go ahead and just excuse myself because I did arrive late. I do apologize to all the people watching. I don't want there to be any confusion. So I'm going to go ahead and just remove myself. Thank you guys very much for filling in.
All right, so you better sign up for another one though. I want to hear your cheerful voice behind the mic before this tourney is out.
God, I wanted to do it tonight and I just totally forgot. Thank you guys very much, and I hope that you guys. I'm gonna enjoy the race. I'll be here cheering for our guys, and of course listening.
So Airmath in the chat saying you have to jump in the right frame, but the wall jump itself is a 2-frame window, which that does make sense.
Yeah, that's correct. So it depends on when you set it up. If it's outside of the room, you have 2 frames after for the CWJ essentially, and then if it's inside the room, that setup, you have 1 frame.
So Osse getting 3 mids. It looked like, which is not bad. It's about if you do okay Dopplers, it's about as the same speed as like 2 slows. But Osse lost a lot of time in the moat, so this is Maniacal's chance to really like use this lead for a little bit and try and run away with it. Osse though getting Fantoon down, and they're gonna be making their way towards Gravity. Honestly, one of it's not just Fantoon early that makes New Route so difficult. It's also Attic. Attic is not an easy room to do, no matter what the situation. And you're lucky with Old Route, you have speed boosters, a lot of different Attic strats. But with the newer route, Attic becomes a lot more difficult. Some really precise shots and ammo usage and stuff like that.
I will say though that even though Osse did lose a fair bit of time in the moat, that does not necessarily 100% guarantee that Maniacal has taken the lead, because New Route does save somewhere between 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes over Old Route, and Osse did lose time, but I don't think he lost 2 minutes. So
no, but he definitely lost at least 40 seconds.
Yeah,
plus,
yeah.
Like.
Yeah, that's as Crunchy says, it's not going to be too much of a big deal. It still depends on the rest of the run, and it's also highly dependent on how Maniacal's running, even though he's having quite a good run right now with a sub 14 speed booster.
Yeah, really low 14 speed booster pickup with the Craig E-Tank, the Craig Son of Kraid Janitor Closet E-Tank. So that's definitely a pace you want to see. And the farm here, they already have 2 supers. Gonna do one more farm. I would go with the 15 and 2, to be honest.
I would skip. It's perfectly fine. Look at that. Oh my gosh, dude. Really?
Dude, you can't hold jump while going down. It's impossible.
You were able to do it.
Well, I did it. Yeah. Once you told me that you had to hold jump, I got it like every time. It's actually like super free. I'm mad I kept messing it up.
right, two very different things. Both of them heading toward purple, but very different purple. Maniacal heading toward purple Cheerios with the wave beam. Osse heading toward purple suit with gravity suit. And despite the fact that we talked about what the gaps might be, the truth of the matter is we're not really going to know who's truly ahead until they're both heading toward Turian.
Yeah, like the main thing is, New Route gets so much of like the longer segments done first. So it's like you go from Fantoon to Ridley, and those are some of the two of the longest sections in terms of like the areas. Lower Norfair especially being notoriously very, very long. So like you could be like, man, they've only done Fantoon and Ridley, but Kraid is just skip and a hop away and just boom, you're done. It's really, really easy.
If Osse didn't do Kraid first, it would be possible to tell around, if they would be pretty much in sync or not, depending on when Osse hits the Lower Norfair elevator in comparison to when Maniacal collects Gravity Suit. But yeah, that's going to get thrown off a little bit because Osse will be taking care of Kraid first.
It's a good elevator time for Maniacal. He's definitely still got a strong early game pace going on right now. Osse farming up some supers. Definitely going to be deboosting their way. Gravity Suit does provide Varia Suit along with it, technically, for some damage reduction in certain areas. Not for Mother Brain, though, but for other... Nice down back. Osse's with some really clean movement on this fall. And then we have an Alpha Spark from Maniacal here. And actually, they had a small little bit of high five right there. Just wearing different suits, though, so you know.
Yeah, there was a high slam.
And here's Sephi's favorite beam. The New Route does have to pick up Spazer to get some extra damage on their beam weapon. Maniacal going to be climbing up Red Tower, getting the shot. Very clean.
Osse picking up that Spazer. That's one of the interesting things about the New Route. You're not going to be seeing Maniacal get that.
No, Osse blowing up the tube right now because they're going to be running through here anyway. And then when they come back to Meridia, they'll be doing they'll just jump right through it. Yeah, they're doing Kraid first before Ridley, so it's some Picard act.
A little bit of that Picard.
For those of you who are unsure what we mean by Picard, we're pronouncing phonetically the boss order that Osse is doing: Fantoon, Kraid, Ridley, Dragon, Picard, or Picard.
Yeah. It's like Picard de Gallo, you know?
Yeah, Picard de Gallo is my favorite.
It's a spicy run, essentially.
Seth,
not all Pico is.
You did not just say Pico is spicy. Please tell me you didn't.
It isn't. It isn't. It isn't. That's what I was gonna say.
Okay.
But if you add the right ingredients, it can be. And trust me, you want to add those right ingredients.
Oh, absolutely.
No, believe me, I wouldn't. I myself do not think, and I'm putting this out for the record, that they're not as spicy at these super missiles that Osse is gonna serve great. Oh, we still got the stun.
I actually don't know.
You can still kill. You can still kill.
I don't know what that was.
That was unusual. Is what that was.
Osse could have still sniped and stuffed Kraid with those jalapeno supers.
Maniacal getting a lot of upward shine sparks when they don't want it. They wasted about 100 health doing 2 upward shine sparks, which is unfortunate. 144, definitely I would still say in the comfy range. It's like right on the cusp of comfy for Fantoon. They could definitely make it work. If they want to farm 2 of the atoms near the bottom, it's very possible, but I personally don't expect it, and I don't think we're going to be seeing it.
Yeah, I'd be surprised. There we go. Yeah, I feel like once you really get the hang of Fantoon, anything above 100, you'll probably just head on in there.
Depends how above 100. Like 101, I might get a 20.
Yeah. But like the closer you are to 150, the more likely you are to just say, it's fine.
And Osse picking up the Kraid tanks. They're gonna be picking up the safety E tank. Now with Maniacal here on Fantoon, it looks like they don't have Power Bomb selected, so it kind of looks like they're going to be starting at the very least with missiles, and maybe into like a Poplar's X Factor route. Yeah, there it is. Very clean first X Factor, and now they can finish it up. Is it left fast? It is. But unfortunately, the eye closed very fast, but a reopen fast, and then a super. Pretty nice Fantoon from Maniacal there.
Maniacal very much aware that it is Thursday, doing what must be done.
Oh, that smooth down back action for Osse in the business center.
That's my favorite. It's one of my favorite down backs. Period. Ooh, Osse missing the shot here. It actually doesn't matter because their new route though. They're going to be climbing back up and dropping a power bomb, and not picking up those missiles.
Wait, I want to ask a question here. Is favorite downbacks the thing people actually do? Am I like out of the loop on this?
Oh, I love downbacks. Like, I have an unhealthy relationship with downback.
Yeah, so do I actually. There are some pretty cool ones. Crunchy, I will definitely make sure to point out my favorite downback. Assuming that Osse goes.
I will be interested in seeing what it is.
I mean, downback is just like one of my favorite things in general, just because it opens up so many really cool optimized room strats. Like any room strat where I can avoid hitting a platform, like in Business Center, where you land on the platform, you morph, unmorph, and then do a down back. Like it just looks so smooth and looks so cool. So I love downbacks for that reason. Maniacal a little low on health, probably gonna be able to get some health from this like puddle room though.
Regardless, beautiful Attic Spark by Maniacal.
Yeah, excellent Attic strat, excellent Attic Spark. Nice use of supering one of the atoms. Ooh, look at Osse here with the reverse ice mock ball there. Really well done, super fast, no setup time.
Very slick. That's a surprisingly tricky mock ball to set up just because of not having very much space to run in the previous room.
Well, it's one of those things you have to keep a consistent, straight line with those. Like you can't ever have there be a gap. Samus needs to be able to continuously hold dash, and then the mock ball needs to be at like it can't be too late because if you mock ball in the middle of the door transition, there's a slight delay in Samus's speed. So there's a lot of intricate stuff going on with that mock ball. But Osse made it look super easy.
I'm sorry, I stopped listening to what you were saying about 20 seconds ago because of that Rising Tides room. That was so clean from Osse. And that is not an easy way of going through that room either.
Yeah, I think without D-Boost, it's still a little bit slower than going under, but it's still, in general, maybe about even, depending on if you can get the mock ball.
All right, we now have a double gravity suit. That's very much what I like to see. And Osse now has speed booster, so they both have access to those delightful Shine Spark shenanigans, which I still stand by my statement that Shine Sparks are the coolest way to move around in this game.
Well, especially in Nura, I am personally interested to see if Osse's going to be going for probably the coolest Shine Spark in the game, which would be Lava Spark.
Oh, yes. Definitely hoping to see that, because that's a very rare treat in this tournament indeed.
Nice D boost there from Osse. Osse with some really just nice optimized room stuff here in Upper Norfair and in general. And especially like New Route gives you so much freedom with your HP to do stuff like that. In Old Route you can do stuff like that in Upper Norfair, but you kind of don't necessarily always want to be chucking your health away on sick D boost because you really don't want to be too low for Fantoon.
Yeah, but I will say that is another thing I actually really like about this game as a run is just that things like damage boosts and mock balls, people add them pretty much wherever they can. You sometimes you'll see folks do interesting D boosts that you don't see from like super fast runners, just because I don't know. Sometimes you get some creativity from the folks who haven't quite made it to the top yet, and that's one thing that's great about this tournament.
Well, some D boosts are just crazy, like impractical to set up. There's people who practice certain D boosts that are just like It's like you going for that D boost. If you fail it, you lose like a billion years. But landing it feels so nice. That's in general like the way I play.
Yeah.
That's why I always go for swag stuff and then lose a billion hours everywhere.
But you know what? It doesn't matter because you looked really cool doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah, you look really bad, doing something wrong.
Oh, and then
It's
so
obviously really cool.
they got the 4-tap, but did not get the Shine Spark charge. And here they're going to be doing a gravity jump. So this involves jumping and then unequipping gravity like right as the jump is beginning, and it gives you extra height on your jump underwater because the lava is considered like underwater for the purposes of that room. And since Osse doesn't have space jump, that's the only way without doing like a lava dive, which would use a lot of HP to get into Lower Norfair. And here they are. And in New Route, it's definitely still just as tough, if not tougher than Old Route.
Plus RNG for Osse, but let's see what Maniacal gets here. Setting up for the D factor here on Batum.
One of the particles missed, so they're gonna have to shoot an extra super. It's not looking great. Osse, meanwhile, getting fast pillars. Worst room in the game.
It truly is the worst room in the route.
Yeah, but that strat is always super sick to watch. You do a little morph ball, and then you kind of do like a little loop-de-loop to manipulate the pirates and avoid damage, and then you use the iframes that the power bomb gives you. Power bomb hitting
Would
the
give
enemies
the pirates,
gives.
yes.
Yeah.
Also, what I liked about Osse's setup is that he uses 2 wall jumps to try to get up to the upper half of worst room in the game. So that's just his way of being able to add consistency to that room. Of course, as always, it lives up to it.
And I'm also a real big fan of that Shine Spark strat. They're using the after images to kill 2 of the key hunters, reducing lag and just making the room safer to go through.
Well, it's safer and it saves time. Also, you can get health drops from them, which definitely helps in the coming in right before Ridley and everything like that. Ridley is especially scary in New Route, just because you have to use more shots. It's a longer fight in general. So that means it's that much longer for Ridley to potentially kill you.
On top of that, Wasteland is a pretty scary room. The room that Osse was just in, just a few seconds ago, because everything does hit pretty hard in this segment. It's either dealing 40 damage or 50.
Yeah, Lower Norfair is super dangerous.
I think the Skigis deal 40 and like everything else deals 50. Maniacal on Dragon, though, with a nice opening spark. It looks like they got goop on the next one. Oh, that's a swoop. I can't hear them, so...
I also see a couple of the particles missed because Dragon's belly did not go deep orange, just kind of light orange.
Yeah, I could tell the difference between those.
There we are.
Still a strong start.
Yeah, it's probably 1 Shine Spark away. Super good on health. They're looking super clean as far as potentially getting a blue suit. They just need one more goop
not
phase.
really... Oh, sorry.
They get it? No.
Did not get blue suit. That's unfortunate.
Well, I think from what I remember, and this might hold true even to this fight now, just knowing that it's a semifinal and he wants to get his run done. He on purpose holds dash before jumping and sparking, just to make sure that he does not get blue suit and does not get chain damaged. So I remember he revealed that tech. Yeah, that's really, really smart. I'm pretty sure that's what he went for. Even though he was super healthy. Not worth the risk, maybe.
I'll have to actually remember that, because sometimes it might be more useful to do the Shine Spark at lower health as long as you can avoid the chain damage, because it's faster than waiting for ammo.
Precisely. Yep.
But you got to be going for Wample Jump if you're going to be doing that, though. No Wample Jump from Maniacal. Osse, meanwhile, kind of having a rough Ridley fight. Spazer Ice Wave combo. It does... I don't actually know the exact damage it does. Is it 600?
It does 300.
It does 300. So Ridley has 18,000 HP. You can see Osse here in a bit of a situation. They're getting close. And here's the supers. They're looking for a pogo pattern. Yeah. Being really careful not to get hit. Some Kojaks. Here's the pogo. 2 more supers. Supers do 600 damage a pop. That one, I do know.
It should be dead. We're good.
All right, just grab him. Oh, very nice.
Nice recovery from Osse, keeping the run alive, keeping the race tight.
Yeah, that was a little bit dicey for a moment there. Yeah, Maniacal's going to have a much easier time that with Plasma Beam, which he's on his way to get. He only has to get 20 charged shots, but Osse had to do 60. But he managed to use some supers there, which helped.
Osse picking up the Wrigley E-Tank. Not really a lot of health for the escape prior to that. It could have been a judgment call from them. Not a bad one, in my opinion.
At the same time, Maniacal ended up picking up Plasma, which is the beam that's going to be his savior against Ridley. Having to do, much less charge.
Oh yeah, losing Plasma, I imagine, is one of the things that you kind of get used to having in old route, and if you switch to new route, you're like, wow, these fights are a lot longer now.
Well, it also
changes
up your Torian strats as well in some aspects. Just because you're used to the piercing aspect of the beam, it can change some things around, especially in Room 3. And the Wasteland room there, you see Osse got hit twice, which definitely very, very happy they picked up the Ridley E-Tank now for sure.
Here's an interesting thing to think about here. So, Maniacal only has one boss left, and that's Ridley. Osse has... Osse already did Kraid, didn't he? Yeah,
Osse did Kraid. Osse only has Dragon. So the thing is, like, Osse has to go and do Dragon, right? And Maniacal has to do Ridley. But Lower Norfair Escape is so much longer than Meridia Escape. So that's also one of the big time saves that New Route gets, is that once you beat Dragon, you just go back through Batoon, and then you're already super close to, like, Criterion can get to G4 super quick. You just basically have to make sure you don't exit Batoon's room too fast, so that you make sure Batoon dies. Because fun fact, if you exit the Batoon room before the column that's in there fully explodes, Batoon respawns.
Yep, and you have to fight Batoon from the other side.
No, you could just leave.
Do you really want to go that way though? The shame way?
Oh yeah, so you're gonna shoot the charge shots from the other side of the wall.
Yup. Just kidding.
Well, that's pretty galaxy.
Oh, this is my favorite down back. The one that Osse attempted. It's a little tough, but essentially you have to get a full jump and practically bonk the ceiling, and that should be enough to make it clear. It's a little tricky.
Well, Osse's doing New Route, Aster, but also the biggest time loss that Osse encountered was definitely just horizontal bomb jump failure and CWJ at the moat. But otherwise, they've been playing very clean.
Maniacal.
Yeah, Maniacal getting the space boost. Super healthy. I don't actually expect. Yeah, skipping the telerefill, getting the optimal jump here for optimal horizontal speed. So these are the two strats you have to hit if you're taking Croc Speedway in order to save time versus Frog Speedway.
Alright, Osse now making his way through Meridia. We have ourselves some nice, relaxing music. Everyone can just have a chill time now, while the fish try to murder him.
Yeah, Aster, he did Kraid first just for a little bit of added safety.
Yeah, Osse looking good on health, looking good on ammo. Strong shape heading into Batoon here.
Lunar asking, what's the advantage of CWJ or horizontal bomb jump? Well, CWJ is just faster. Horizontal bomb jump, in my opinion, is harder, although I'm sure people who do horizontal bomb jump really, really consistently would disagree with me on that. I think the horizontal bomb jump is a lot harder to do than the CWJ. But in general, like, the CWJ is just a little bit faster. Horizontal bomb jump is a backup that loses just a little bit of time. Osse with the super sick Batoon, though. Holy
nice
crap.
job, Osse.
One round.
And 4 supers, like, they don't have to farm at all. Actually, maybe a little bit of farming if they want, but honestly, I don't foresee it. Oh, where's the cool mock?
Yeah, they're just gonna farm that one E-Tank.
Dude, where's the cool mock ball? That's my favorite. That's my favorite mock ball. The one into that. Oh, and getting an extra super from one of those nerds.
Dang, the luck.
Yeah,
I'm curious to see if we're gonna get a full halfy attempt here. Looks, he's like,
that's a good down grab. Yeah, everything looks good right now.
There we
Yep,
go.
Nice job.
Full halfy, very nice.
Hardest part of the full halfy is not only like the quick wall jumps, but you have to, right near the top, you have to shoot the door and then down grab. Or not necessarily have to down grab, but you need to shoot the door as you're getting your jump upwards. And if you're really fast with your wall jumps, you can still bonk the door and make it, but you have to be very, very quick or optimal with your wall jump.
Yeah, doors are the enemies of your happiness in this game. They take an eternity to open, even though they look open, they're not. So...
yeah, until the animation fully finishes, the door is considered completely closed. Ooh, only one of the particles hitting there for Osse. Looks like they were going for a nice potential backup there in terms of another X Factor. Nice.
very nice damage.
Should be
Reverse.
nice.
Oh my god.
Ooh. That was a good Dragon fight.
Spike suit. Oh, a little bit too early on that. They're going for the other end. No, it's over on that attempt. So no spike suit, and they don't pick up space jump. They're done. They don't need space jump. So
No.
they're gonna be on their way to G4 now.
Oh yeah. Too.
And Maniacal just entered his final boss, so here we go. For some good art. Nothing too trolly.
Yeah, keep in mind, even though Maniacal is at Ridley and Osse is done with all the bosses, the Maniacal only has to do 20 charge shots on Ridley and 20 charge shots on Mother Brain. Osse has to do 60 charge shots on Mother Brain too. So that is a time loss that does need to be taken into account in the Torian section.
Yes, although Maniacal does still also have to get all the way back up, so...
Yeah, and it definitely... it's safe to say, at least right now, that Osse definitely has a lead over Maniacal, but it's by no means like an insurmountable.
Yeah. And we're not going to actually have a good feel for how much of a lead it is until Mother Brain 2.
Yeah. You can kind of tell probably still by G4 even.
Well, Mother Brain 2 definitely is going to be more treacherous with having to use more shots. That's a lot more. That's a fair few more ketchups that Osse has to dodge.
Dude, Asder's in the chat just roasting me because he's exposing me for how little I know about like the time differences between old route and... Like I only run old route. I only know how that works. Sephi, it's your job. You're the one who's supposed to be telling me I'm wrong.
Well, yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
But either way,
you definitely mad wrong, dog. Borlax, just shut up. You shouldn't be talking right now.
either way, considering that Osse is, ahead, and it's not that much of a time loss, essentially, that because it is part of the route, picking up Spazer and all, having to do a few more charge shots isn't that much of a big deal. But even so, it depends on how safe Osse wants to play this.
Yeah, which also depends on how much Osse knows about the state of the race. I know some runners don't like to watch the race or know what the opponent is doing.
I have to. Super Metroid is the only game I can watch my opponent, and any other game I can't do it. But Super Metroid, I have to know. Maniacal taking a lot of damage on this Three Musketeers escape. Yeah, they're okay. They had 100 health. 50 HP is still fine. Torian's gonna give them pretty much all that health back, and probably some maybe some business center drops or various things along the way. Only one power bomb, so they're gonna have to use regular bombs here, and there's no hope at bomb boosts, I think, without a power bomb.
It's possible. You can take
just
your time.
tough.
Well, you can either the optimal strat is to try to get there as quickly as possible when you get a ball boost. Otherwise, you can kind of somewhat take your time and still get the ball boost on its second way around. On top of that, Osse just did state in chat that he's at 47:30 pace, And then something that I like to look for when going old route is the moment that you hit up on this elevator in business center, approximately, and it's a rough approximately 10 minutes later should be your end time. So that looked like a flat 40.
Flat 40, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, just give some time for errors or so, and you're looking at maybe like a 50-10 or so.
I mean, I know you say that, Seppi, but I've never once hit that metric.
Right? No.
You have to. Honestly, it comes down to these Metroid rooms, especially like Metroid Room 3 is one that when you do it correctly, it's like a work of art. Not this way. This one is cool, but I like the one where you just run through and sometimes you don't even pick up the drops. Ossie's a little bit low on supers though.
Yeah, it's probably gonna have to use missiles in the last room, maybe even kill the first one separately.
I don't. You could get so screwed on missile drops here. Yeah,
Ooh,
8. So yeah, they're still fine. That is enough to complete it, but they do have to be very, very careful, and not miss.
Yeah, I'm gonna opt to open at the very least the first door, depending on how risky he's feeling. Maybe even also the eye door.
And we'll see you're gonna baby skip attempt here from Oss.
Could also be seeing a save here.
Yeah, it's also possible we might just see a missile refill. Open the first door with 5 missiles, get a missile refill instead of just a health refill if they do get the baby skip. Clean first jump. Going for the lagless strat. Really nice stuff. It's looking good. Oh yeah. That one spot where they had to run really far back is what kind of threw it for a loop.
Maniacal.
At this point, yeah, getting this. No Terminator one though. I like the Terminator one. Honestly, opening this with 5, yeah. If you're gonna have to get the health refill anyway, getting the missile refill here definitely worth it in my opinion, just because it's right there. And here, Maniacal just entering G4. Behind on their splits, we said something in the realm of like a low 50. Their PB is a 49, like a mid 49. Actually, no, it's a low 49 now, isn't it?
Yeah, 4909.
Yeah, and Ossie doing a save to save, maybe watching the restream knowing that they're about 1 potential mother brain reset from still being able to win this race.
And Ossie's setting up for Zeb skip here. Hey, no problem.
Yeah, at Ossie's level, Zeb skip is something that you very, very rarely will be missing. Killing the Rinkas, and we're gonna make sure that that turret does not get in the way. That other one in the back tried to snipe it, but really good stuff. So Mother Brain 1 down. That's the spooky ammo stuff out of the way. Now we need 60 charge shots, which means a lot of catch-ups need to be dodged.
A lot of food in general. Mother Brain just flings everything from the kitchen like a really angry line cook.
Even the kitchen sink.
I mean, what line cook isn't angry? Like, it's just being a line cook means you're angry.
Good thing for Ossie though is that he does have 5 E-tanks and running a possible high 47. Ooh, there we go. Maniacal.
Good on ammo, yeah.
Oh yeah, ammo looking real good.
Still probably gonna use. They could use a super on the last one if you want. Ooh, getting grabbed. Alright, never mind. It's over. Oh, still gutsy play. If I get hit in the third room, in that last room, I don't like to use supers because I don't want to get like health bombed just by our. Ossie looking super good. Catch-up phase hasn't started, but it's coming up soon.
Yeah, with 5 E-tanks, he can afford to take a catch-up, but if he takes 2, then he's going to have to reload.
Yeah, with this current HP, 2 catch-ups would be a reset. If they had a little bit more, they could potentially take 2. Maniacal going for baby skip, doing the lag setup, but once the lag is over, the rest of it is really lenient.
He's looking good.
There it is,
That's
a baby skip from
Nice
Maniacal.
job.
Very nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah, as we're pointing out, as long as the catch-ups don't double hit, which, fun fact, they can do that.
This game is real fun about invincibility frames and just sometimes saying, nah, it's okay.
To be fair, to catch-up's credit, sometimes it can just hit you and then, like, you sneak between the hitboxes and it misses. So it's like, you know, it gives and it takes.
So
I could have sworn I've seen a catch-up that does like 50 damage. But that's incredibly rare. Someone had shared that, I can't remember who.
I know Mello hacked the game and got hit by a catch-up that did 0 damage.
What?
Dude, it's
Oh yeah, that she did.
It's literally a clip of her getting hit by catch-up, and the game was like, whatever, dude, I don't care. You didn't take any damage, you're fine.
Yeah, and then she proceeded by getting sub 40,
Yeah.
20%.
So Maniacal starting Mother Brain 2 right now. Honestly, you know, Osse definitely in the lead. They're going to be starting Mother Brain 3 shortly, but Maniacal definitely made up a lot of time. Especially Osse saved, didn't get the baby skip. Maniacal did hit baby skip. It's looking like Osse, you know, probably has this in the bag. Mother Brain 3 and Escape are generally two splits that don't vary too much in time for it to be a big enough swing. But it really, you know, it ended up being a lot closer than I think some people thought when Osse was on their way to Torian.
Yeah, Maniacal had a really strong Turian, getting the baby skips, moving real good through the rooms, getting the ammo. Now Maniacal just waiting on that cutscene, sitting at a pretty nice health count.
And Osse doing a really nice Mother Brain 3. Very, like, a couple shots from Mother Brain trying to break free from the infinite combo that Samus does there. But if you execute it correctly, she just kind of ends up being backed into the corner. No real aggressive, huggy Mother Brains up in the...
Yeah, whenever Mother Brain gets like that, it can throw you off. Although surprisingly, it is also a thing that as long as you shoot Mother Brain, doesn't necessarily have to be your head or even a charge shot. Just as long as you shoot at her, she will back up.
Oh, really? I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, I think Booza pointed that out before. And but when she does get all Smother Brain on you, again, it's kind of annoying.
There's a tiny little Moonfall in the Escape. Always cool to see. Love Moonfall. And we're going to see probably a Behemoth Spark. Behemoth Spark ended up being a lot easier than I thought it would. But that's the one part where it's less easy. There it is. Yeah. There's like a small zone in the bottom where as long as you're crouching and you do a diagonal spark, you'll hit that platform, but there's a pretty big window to do it. Osse missing it the first time, but getting it the backup. Gonna be okay. Really clean parlor so far. Definitely yet another sub 50 for Osse, looking super strong in this tournament. And there it is, 48-28 for Osse. Just really showing how dominant they have been in this tournament, improving drastically, doing, you know, an incredibly difficult route, one that is, especially in a race, extremely scary, being super consistent. You know, it's just big ups to them on this win. I think a lot of people expected, just based on their PB, a lot of the times they're posting, this is not necessarily a huge surprise, but at this point, you know, Maniacal definitely was still a strong opponent, and they kept it fairly close.
And there's Osse now.
Hey.
Congrats. Very great race.
Yeah, it had its ups and downs.
Yeah, the biggest time loss seemed to be Moat in terms of just getting the CWJ or the horizontal bomb jump, whichever one was going to land.
Well,
But everything else seemed really clean.
it was the biggest time loss until Turian, where I didn't get ammo and missed baby skip.
Yeah.
You were on, of course, another really good pace overall, Aussie. So yeah, good game, man. Congrats on the win, and moving on to the finals, of course.
And a 50.03 from Maniacal. It's not the official SRL time. I don't have SRL open, so one of the SRL boys is gonna have to tell me. But honestly, almost a sub 50, only about a minute and a half apart between these two runners, which is pretty close in Super Metroid time. Sometimes it can be closer than that. Those are the really exciting races where you don't know what's gonna happen next. But Maniacal definitely held their own. Did a great job in this tournament, getting top 4, pulling out a nice upset. Even I think Maniacal was the one who put Rasu out of the tournament as well.
You put him in his place. Yep.
Yeah, and people expected Rasu to be up against Osse in this matchup right here, and Maniacal ended up pulling a big upset there. And I don't, it's wasn't a fluke. 50.07 is a fantastic time for.
That's actually our fastest loss.
Yeah, that's the number one fastest loss now.
I expect nothing less from the semis. Holy cow!
Yeah, and then the other side of the semifinals bracket, we have Era Theta versus AC or SE. It's one of those two.
SE.
SE, yeah, both of them extremely strong runners, super consistent. Both of them. Era Theta actually just today getting their sub 50. And SE also with a sub 50, so both of them sitting with the sub 50, getting their Super Metroid Prodigy goal out of the way, hitting that landmark, and just in time for their semifinals race, which I believe is still being scheduled right now. But that's going to be the winner of that will face off against Osse in the grand finals of the Prodigy tournament.
So, Osse, I don't think we had a chance to ask you. What's on your mind after that? How do you feel about your run there?
I guess I was surprised again that I was getting a mid 47 up until the end fell apart. I didn't think I was that consistent with 47s. The moat was bad. I haven't had a moat that bad in a long time. And then I went for the CWJ, which I haven't practiced in forever, and first tried that. So that just fell where it did.
What was it? I mean, you were able to still. You had plenty of room for safety even then, despite what happened at Mo. Like taking 5 tanks throughout the entire run obviously sets up for a much comfy late game. Well, mostly just entering Lower Norfolk with 3 tanks is just one of the greatest feelings ever. Because
I keep finding that I need the 3rd tank in these races. Like my Ridley fight, I went under 100, I think.
Yeah.
You get to like 63 or something like that.
Yeah, so
It was
it's
a
worth the time.
spooky fight. Lower Norfair and New Route is to go like New Route front loads all the danger from doing early Fantoon, who hits you for like 40 with Novarius suit with everything that he does, straight into. I mean, you did Kraid first just as a little like safety for some Picard action, but even then, like it's just everything without space jump in a lot of rooms ends up being just a little bit harder, and you end up taking a little bit more damage, and especially with no plasma in a wasteland as well. That's also a tough room to do in New Route.
Yeah, I find my main issue with the 2 tank is worst room in the game and down to wasteland, because you can't make any mistakes, or you just die.
And wait, go ahead.
I was gonna say both runners with a clean 22%. We were talking about Osse. Maniacal is here in the call with us. I did want to ask.
Welcome, Maniacal.
What? Yeah.
Hey, how's it going?
GG Maniacal.
GG Osse.
I did want to ask Maniacal how they felt their race went overall.
Oh man, That botch wound was so bad. That botch wound was so bad. It was kind of a bit of a mess. Wrecked ship entry and botch wound were my biggest time losses on the run. Everything else was just kind of bleeding against PB. But yeah, botch wound went really bad. I ended up having to farm on my way into Dragon as well. So like that compounded the time loss. I don't know what I've been doing wrong with botch wound lately, but hasn't been very kind to me my past couple races. But otherwise, I felt like I played an okay race. I mean, I'm not real happy to be plus a minute, but like given the amount of time save that I still have in the run. But I did get down to green at power bombs, which is one of my bigger time saves. I like botched red tower real bad in the PB. It was kind of a disaster early game. So I was green for a little bit, which was nice. But then like the wreck ship entry, I just sparked into the ceiling a bunch, and I literally was having D-pad issues with my old controller, so I just switched controllers tonight. And I got one practice run in before this, and I ran, I think, a 5140 or something. So this was much better than that. I did get a little warm, which was good. But, I mean, I wasn't going to beat a reasonable run from Osse under any circumstances. I needed him to, like, spend an extra 2 minutes at the moat, or some, like, complete disaster needed to happen for me to be able to win this one. So I just wanted to put up a good pace. I think this was my fastest pace of the tournament as far as completed runs. I have, a number of sub 50s off stream that obviously would beat this, but I think this was my fastest time of the tournament, so that was good to kind of go out putting up a run that I at least forced Osse to come out and beat me, and I didn't completely beat myself.
Yeah, Osse had a little trouble with the moat. The thing that shown to me with Osse, apart from like just general, like your movement has to be super tight and you're out for a lot of rooms, just because if not, you're dead. But Osse's like boss fights, specifically the Dragon, was like bonkers good.
Yeah, my Dragon was so bad. It was real bad.
Yeah, I was really close to the 2 spark. If I'd used supers instead of missiles, I would have had it.
Yeah, like it's just to get Dragon done that fast. Also, you had a weird thing with Kraid where Kraid's mouth was, even though you didn't get Kraid quick kill,
Yeah.
Kraid's mouth was still just sticking wide open. We're like, hey, could you still shoot that? Like, is that still a thing? It looked super strange. It wasn't the right frame, but his mouth was just.
So yeah, what ended up happening is I think Osse, you shot him in his jaw to lockjaw him as his mouth was closing, and yeah, I'm pretty sure you would have still been able to kill Crane. I don't know though.
I should have been able to, but I got claw blocked on all my supers.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing was that the hand was kind of in the way.
So great stuff to Maniacal. Maniacal, what are your feelings overall on the tournament and also your performance in the top 16 up to this semifinal?
I mean, I feel like the half of the bracket that I ended up on was a pretty rough part of the bracket. I mean, my top 8 or my top 16 matches were against Beef Robber and then Rasu and now Osse. And especially Rasu and Osse, I felt like could have very reasonably been regarded as the 2 players in the top 16 most likely to win the tournament. But I also felt like I was in the top 4 of players who made the top 16 in terms of odds to win the tournament. And so I would have been a little let down if I hadn't top 4'd, but I'm happy to have made top 4 in this. I'm happy that this tournament gave me an excuse to work on any percent, because I really am not a huge fan of the category. I want to knock out a 48, hopefully, and then set it down for a while and get back to other categories.
That's kind of how I felt coming into the tournament.
Yeah,
I think the last time I played any percent, I just died a lot, so I didn't like it that much.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't even dying a lot. I was completing a lot of runs. My splits I have 62 of 144 attempts completed, and I think that my completion rate has actually gone up since working for the tournament. So it wasn't like I was dying a ton, and I'm still not dying a ton, but I'm also doing, the cozy route. But it was a lot more, I just didn't enjoy the challenges that were set forth to me with the category. And so, I mean, when the tournament started, my PB was something like a 53.22, and then I ran like a high 52 in an SRL race for the 25th anniversary of Super Metroid's release in Japan. So happy birthday, Super Metroid. But I was able to take, over 4 minutes off of my PB over the course of the tournament, which I think is, I think that's really solid. Obviously, it's not the 8 minutes that Osse has cut off, but I think I'm happy with the fact that the tournament gave me an excuse to do that. And at the start of the tournament, I'd said if I don't sub 50 by the end of this tournament, it has been a failure. And I've run somewhere between 5 and 10 sub 50s. I think 6 is the number right now. So I'd say the tournament was a success for me. Very, very happy. I think the novelty of it is sort of a philosophical complement to the sub 50 any percent tournament that was run. I think that it was very, very nice. I think it played out better than anyone could have envisioned it playing out. And I'm really happy to have been able to participate. So big props to Sephi and Melanex especially for kind of the seed of the idea and really getting it rolling. And big props to Speed Gaming for hosting and letting those of us who hadn't put as much work into any percent or hadn't gotten as far with any percent to kind of show off what it was that we brought to the table. I think that it's been a lot of fun, and obviously Osse has taken the challenge and run with it, and I wouldn't be shocked to see him get a low 46 any day. I mean, I think 46.2x is very in range.
I have a follow-up question for Osse. You face off the winner against of Air Theta and Essie. What are your thoughts on both those two opponents, and how do you feel, waiting in the grand finals for either of these opponents?
Well, first off, I'm sort of hoping that they schedule their match soon, because I don't have a lot of free time next week. So might have to delay the finals. I don't know. Their match should be really good, close. They're pretty even.
Yeah, I agree that they're both pretty even, both very consistent runners. Lastly, I actually want to ask Sephi a question. Sephi, you still there? You still alive? Did you fall asleep on commentary just like you fell asleep?
Just like I did on your mother, yeah.
What? Yeah, dude. But
Wait,
listen,
what?
but
Wait, sorry.
if my mom had a good time, I don't mind. That's fine.
Oh,
but
okay,
I'm just
that's
saying,
true.
but my question for you, Sephi, is now that we're reaching the grand finals, we're in the top 4. What are your feelings on how this tournament has played out, how this how everything has come together? Are you seeing sort of from an administrative / outside perspective, all these different participants and runners just really having a good time? What have your thoughts and feelings been, just sort of sitting on the outside as a spectator and a commentator and obviously an organizer as well?
I'm happy for every single one of you. More than happy. Proud. I see a whole bunch of faces right now, even though they're just chat. I see Cheaty, who was able to improve his PB by a lot and ended up, just completely sweeping the entire Swiss round. That's incredible. Because it's Cheaty, Just kidding. No, big shout outs to Cheaty. Maniacal, he had that PB since 2017, if I'm not mistaken, and he just shut it down in this tournament, making top 4. And honestly, has been putting in work with running randomizers, in particular the combo randos that both Osse and Maniacal are known for just dominating, every single tournament that has a crossover combo rando, whatever you want to call it.
I missed brackets on the last crossover tournament, to be fair.
But still, regardless, you held it down. You and Solsky and Osse are some of my favorite to watch whenever I do happen to stumble upon one of those combo randos, and it's because of those tournaments is how I was able to kind of keep an eye on Osse, because he immediately became one of my favorites. And when I saw that he entered this tournament, I was expecting great things, and obviously he also brought it forth. Daniel, dude, you have a killer early game. Clean
and that's it.
Wipe that late game down, please. You can easily sub 50. You can easily sub 49 even, and sub 47. Like, I know you've been busy and doing all that, but legit. Hopefully you don't put this game down.
No, I need that sub
90
50.
times.
I also need. The problem is, like, I have now that I don't have RPG Limit Break practice, like, clogging me up. I have to PB. I have to get world record in 2 Earthbound categories, and then I have to get sub 49 in Super Metroid, and then 41 in DKC2. Like, there's too many runs that I'm like, theoretically, like on paper, like, yeah, these are times I can get, but I just have to put in the time.
Big shot over here. And then, of course, Crunchy Lex, my beloved Crunchy, getting his sub hour. Crunchy Lex, everyone needs to follow Crunchy, honestly. Like, follow everyone that I just listed, of course. Follow the runners. Follow Daniel for commentary. But I gotta give the most props over to Crunchy Lex for just jumping in and learning the run, and having, how much did you improve over? Like an hour almost?
It was an hour and change, but that's partially because I had to submit my 100% run as my any percent run at the start, because I didn't have a completed any percent run.
Got him.
That's what happened. Yeah. Well, it worked out in the end, and of course, like, there's just so many other runners, of course, that ended up improving by a ton. Some were able to reach the sub 50 goal. We have Eric Data already, Ross. We have Essie, who was able to accomplish that. And then we also had Apple. Yeah, shout outs to Apple. And Mello was able to become gatekeeper of the Civ 50.
Ultimate God gatekeepers. Mello.
It doesn't get any more calculated than that. She threw this tournament and decided, I'm going to stand here and I'm going to keep people from being sub 50. So shout outs to her as well. And to everyone, thank you for coming out this evening. Really hope that you enjoyed the race.
I have one more shout out for Crunchy, because Crunchy, getting the sub hour is big, but Crunchy is the second most is number 2 in rankings for amount of races that they've done commentary for, which is just a huge commitment. Number of times, it says 27, but that's because it doesn't include the one we did just now. So that puts Sephi at an even 30, Crunchy at a 28, and then the next highest is Hockey Towner with 17. So that's 10 plus races that both Crunchy and Sephi have commentated on, giving up a lot of their time and energy to help bring some entertainment, and always doing a killer job. And just, like, big ups to you for always stepping up to do commentary, and something I could tell you enjoy doing, and something you're good at, and I just wanted to give you shout outs for that.
I probably enjoyed doing it a bit too much, in fact.
Yeah, I'll echo that. And one thing that Sephi didn't highlight that I wanted to touch on that I think kind of fits in the theme of the whole conversation. I think 82% of the entrants in this tournament PB'd by the end of it. So that's just so huge. And like almost everyone was knocking out PBs. And so the fact this tournament was there to give people excuses to go out and just play any percent. I mean, that's always good. Anytime you got people going out and playing a game is good. But yeah, also huge props to CrunchyLex and Sephi for doing a lot of the heavy lifting on commentary, and everyone who's kind of contributed either on the air or behind the scenes to get this thing off the ground. All the matches have been super fun to watch. I've enjoyed pretty much everything that I have seen from this tournament, and so it's been, in my eyes, a resounding success. And so I'm looking forward to seeing the other semifinal match, and then seeing whoever Osse gets to play in the finals. And yeah, GG again, Osse. Good luck in the finals, dude. You were a heavy favorite in this one, and you held up. And I think that is just justice. So I'm glad to see you advancing.
Oh, thanks.
So yeah, thank you for participating, Maniacal. It's been a thrill having you. Here's hoping for a few more PBs right before you know. I think it might just be one more, and then you're sub 49. And then Osse, best of luck, man. Finals it is. We will see what happens between Air Theta and SE. If they're not able to schedule, anytime soon, it's quite all right. We have a bunch of time. Honestly, we don't really have a deadline, but IRL does tend to get in the way. So hopefully you're able to take care of all of that and situate it. And we will see you for your final battle. Anything else that anyone else wants to possibly say? Okay, well, thank you. This has been Speed Gaming 2. Stay tuned. Not fan tuned, but stay tuned for more. Everyone say good night, or good morning, or good afternoon.
Bye, everyone.